All right, beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. I want to welcome you back to another episode of our Be in the Ecosystem virtual meetup. And guess what? Today is a marvelous day because it is beautiful outside. I don't know where you're at, but I am in Durham, North Carolina, and it is amazing outside. Yesterday, my husband actually had on shorts, so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some global warming going on, but thank you because this is like an extended little summertime. So I am enjoying that part of things. But let's get into it. We want to talk about all the different things that are happening all over the state in North Carolina specifically, and things that are affecting people's business that they need to know. So that's why we do this particular show. Now, today we have some amazing guests that are going to be on, and each of these ladies is interesting in their own right. And then they also intersect on some things too. And so it's really interesting to see how people take one concept of business and then, just make their own path. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So today, first off, what is the Be in the Ecosystem virtual meetup? This is something that we came up with Give It to the People because our company has a business membership called the Give It, Get It business membership. And we thought, well, what's a great way to expand, to let people know what's happening throughout the state, to give them strategies that they can use for business, upcoming news and things that are important. So we do this on a monthly basis, and we bring in people from around the state to be able to talk about what's happening in their area, in their region. Now, this month's episode, the things that'll be focused a little bit more in the Raleigh area. So if you're in this triangle area, this is definitely going to be something good for you. But one thing I know is you can cross those borders. So if you decided, look, I live in a whole nother place, but this would be something good for me, and I want to be part of something else, this enables you to be able to do it and know what is happening. Now, our company, Give It to the People, is myself and my husband, Mr. Montrell Brown, and we do conferences and training across the state. And one of the things that I've known that is a constant in business is that there's always change, but business is still business. And so in order for people to know who you are, this to me is an important factor. And that's why we stress that with the membership. But we also want people to know what is happening all over. And a lot of times things are disjointed. A lot of times you see duplication of events and efforts. And we want to try to minimize that, but also let you know what's happening in these different places, because it is worth traveling to sometimes. And we are North Carolina focused, but we do some things down in South Carolina, and we'll probably be doing some more stuff in like the Virginia area next year. So if you are, and maybe even, I said South Carolina. So, this just gives you an opportunity to be able to find out what's happening. Now, our guest today is Awesome Sauce. And let me tell you how I came across her, because she sent a message. Somebody told me about this event that was happening first, though, because they were saying, hey, it's this food truck thing that's happening, and it's a meetup, and we know that you're interested in the food industry, and so this is probably something that you should go to. And I was like, okay. Then she actually sent me an invite, and she was like, well, you should come out to this event. And I was like, okay. Now, let me tell you how important I felt it was, because we had already had an event planned at the same day during the same time that we were going to do with Give It to the People. And then Mr. Brown and I had a conversation. I was like, no, you know what? What if this is the last one this year? Being able to meet other people that are in the food industry, I feel like this is an important factor. So we should just cancel our thing and we should just go to their thing. Now, let me tell you, here's Nicole. Let me tell you why I'm happy. I'm even happier because they had actual food there, okay? And she has some of the most amazing cheesecake I have ever had in my life. And I need you to understand, I'm from New York, so I know a good cheesecake. But her cheesecake just it was like ice cream, but it's not ice cream, but it's cheesecake. But it just gave you this amazing flavor. And I was like, well, just for that, man, we have to have you on the show. So, Nicole, welcome today. How are you?
I am well. Thank you so much, Chiza, for having me here. Our hand dipped chocolate dipped cheesecake is definitely an adult indulgence.
Yes. Yes, it is definitely. So, okay, first of all, I mean, and I know we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, but I need to know what made you even start the cheesecake as this is going to be the business. And then what I think is amazing is not only is she selling the cheesecake, not only does she have the food truck, and not only does she do catering, but she also has franchised her business. So why food cheesecake in the first place?
Well, at the end of the day, in a way, it's not even about the actual product. It's
Mhm.
about the vehicle that the product gives us.
Mm.
So I've been in the mobile food industry since I was 14 years old here in the North Carolina area.
Mhm.
And I traveled with companies since I was in high school doing concessions and mobile food. And chocolate dipped cheesecake was one of my favorite things to serve.
Mhm.
I remember the company I worked for at the time, I was saying, oh, we should do all these different flavors. And they said, no, Nicole, just dip the cheesecake in chocolate and serve it. So I went through business school. You know, my husband and I, we decided that we wanted to just start a hobby, not necessarily a business, a
Mhm.
hobby. And we just kind of did the same thing. We went around North Carolina serving chocolate dip cheesecake because it is really a staple in our area. And we were just doing it, like I said, as a hobby for fun. But then we started getting actual invitations to come out to other events, to cater and things of that nature. So we thought maybe we can make this into a business. And me, with my business background, I decided to make a business plan.
Okay.
And it was the business plan that showed us we can actually scale this business and we could do, you know, other products as well. But we
Mhm.
stuck to the cheesecake and we followed the business in more of a Montessori manner,
Mhm.
where we were very flexible. We weren't tied down to one type of way of serving. And that evolved to our own concession stands, being in a food hall, and eventually a food truck that we've turned into a franchise.
And I love that because I think it's a great progression, but I like the fact that you mentioned the business plan. So coincidentally, December is business plan month, you know, nationally. And so one thing that I'm always interested in is words and what they mean. And you know, typically when they say business plan month, they do mean sit down, strategize, put together what you're going to do for your business. But I also think to take that into consideration with business planning means what don't I have? What can I do better? And so when you mention the Montessori approach, for anybody who doesn't necessarily understand that, can you just explain that really quickly?
Well, my children have always gone to a Montessori school, and what that means is follow the child. And in a sense, we have taken that into that concept with our business, not necessarily following what customers want from us, but we got a feel of what works and what doesn't work.
Mhm.
Because it's new to bring our concept out of fairs and out of the flea market every day and make it more high end. So we really kind of, I would say, with the different avenues we have taken, going into the mall, going into a food hall, serving at community events, and then a food truck, we've allowed the kind of the space to dictate what is the best way we would like to serve this
Mhm.
product and how does it also fit into our lifestyle.
Mhm. No, and I think that the fact that you've had all of those different steps and then now are franchising it, you allow another person to be able to say, I don't have to start from scratch. You know, I don't have to think about all the things. There's already a concept that's working. And so let me just go ahead and be a part of that. And a lot of times you don't see that with smaller businesses, right? Like you'll see it with cleaning companies, you'll see it with the big, gigantic restaurants, but a lot of smaller businesses don't go in that direction. And part of that is, you know, when you're saying follow the child, they're scared to let their baby go. You know, like that is really a fear for people. It's just, well, what if they mess up something? And so I think that that's an important step for you to be able to take, but also for other people to understand, you know, that this could be their baby as well. And they could, you know, go ahead and make that generational wealth by utilizing what you already have and a proven system that works. So with what you're doing, you also do have a membership as well that is for our food-based businesses. So can you touch on that for me?
Thank you. Yes. So we the reason why we actually ended up franchising Coco Forte, which is our high-end dessert food truck, is because when we kind of became a little bit too big and in our local area. We won tons of awards and we were receiving tons of recognition. We had huge support from the community and our family and friends. And we created a high demand. So it was, in a way, it was because we couldn't handle the demand. And then we looked to franchising, which franchising was always in our business plan. We just didn't necessarily know when the time was. Now that there was that demand, we realized, okay, now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
Through my research, it is very difficult to find information about franchising to franchise your own concept.
Mm-hmm.
And through those hurdles and challenges, I really took a deep dive and I went back to school to be certified as a franchise executive so that I could franchise my own system. And going back to our business plan, one of the reasons that our why was to create a legacy for our descendants.
Mm-hmm.
Once we franchised and we reached that plateau, I really searched my heart and I recognized, we've achieved what we sought out to do.
Mm-hmm.
We've created a version of our American dream. And I know that this concept can help others achieve their version of the American dream. But I took it a step further and recognized that I don't necessarily want to be the queen of cheesecakes all over the US.
Uh-huh.
I would prefer to help people evolve their own concepts and through a Montessori strategy with a foundational element with the business plan to create their version.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how actually Nicola Network evolved. I've actually been doing business coaching since 2009 for free as a philanthropy initiative. I wouldn't let anyone hire me because, as you know, I was building my own brand.
Mm-hmm.
And that evolved into what is now Nicola Network. And we do business development and marketing management for small business owners.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have a division called Food Truck Affiliates. And that's where we specifically help mobile food entrepreneurs start and scale their mobile food passions and dreams to their version of the American dream.
Mm-hmm. No, and I love the website. So one thing that if I'm going to go to something, I try to research in advance. So I looked at the way that things were outlined and I told her, I was like, well, I have a membership and you have a membership, but I don't want to do what you do. Right. Like, and that's the biggest thing because there's a specific skill set that goes into that and also a passion that I think goes into it. So I love to eat. I love to critique food. Those are my passions. Right. But I also do love to help food businesses be able to grow just in a different way. And I think that that kind of shows that there is room for each person to do the things that they need to do. So one thing that I found that was interesting is that to me, and I gave her this example. So for everybody that's listening, when I said, so it's kind of like an Angie's List, but for the food trucks, right? And she was like, yeah, a little bit. But I think that the thing is interesting is that food trucks oftentimes do have problems scaling because first of all, they're probably doing so much themselves and they're in the truck and they're making the food and they're doing all of the grocery shopping. And it is hard right now for people to be able to retain employees and you have to train those people. But being able to do what you do, which is say, hey, when people come onto my site, if they're looking for a particular type of business, a type of food, then we can match you up with the person that needs the catering. And I don't really see that many. I mean, maybe there is something out there that I just don't know about, but that to me is really a great effort on your part to be able to just kind of tie that together. So what made you even come up with it, doing it from that perspective?
Yes, so there actually are plenty of platforms that allow or give a pathway for mobile food caterers and chefs to cater.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone, corporations and individuals, weddings and such. However, the element that we have in our membership to match those that are interested in a caterer to members that are within our wheelhouse, the difference is that we are from the industry. Mm-hmm. So we have an understanding of what it really takes to have a successful relationship with our customers and our clients. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily a one-hit wonder where you get a great gig and then that's it. We actually, with our platform with Food Truck Affiliates, we help guide the relationship. And then we also create retention from it. We retarget those customers, we get feedback, and we find ways to help improve the relationship with mobile food concepts.
Mm-hmm. But is there another one that is based here in North Carolina? And I mean, that's so when I was referring to that, I really more so meant somebody that's here, that's local, that's doing it for the food trucks, because I know that there are plenty of food truck groups. I know that people have message boards and Slack and WhatsApp and all, but the way that you put it together, specifically, and you are focused on businesses that are right here in the triangle, is I didn't see another one that was doing exactly what you were doing in North Carolina.
Not based out of North Carolina, no.
Okay. Okay. That's why I was like, I think you might be the only one, but no, it's still a wonderful thing. And I think that, that experience does make a difference. So like, even when people say, we just did an event last week, Thursday, our small biz showcase, and people are like, well, I'm glad that you don't duplicate the exhibitors. I'm glad that you send us stuff in advance, that you do the marketing in advance. But I'm like, when we started our business a million years ago, I started out as a vendor. So I know what it is when you go somewhere and they sit you next to somebody that's selling something similar to yours, or, it's just the logistics of things that maybe some people don't consider. So by you physically being in the industry and having that experience, it's not just like there's this big corporate machine that doesn't know what it is to be in a truck, that doesn't know what it is to actually produce, what you're actually selling. So I think that is a wonderful thing. So now with Nicola Network, you also, and you mentioned it, but I want to go back and I'm going to put this up here so everybody can see it. You also mentioned that one of the things that you do is to help businesses with some of that marketing. So it's not just food-based businesses, but it's also any of the small businesses who are interested in being able to retain your services. Can you touch on some of the things that you cover in that aspect?
Yes. With Nicola Network and food truck affiliates, we do have some hand-in-hand ways that we help with small business owners and their businesses. One is through social media management. The goal is to help them show up online with purpose and consistency. We do offer lead generation, where we turn visibility into quality conversations. We also offer business management, where we help small businesses streamline operations so that they can focus on service. And we also do community activations, where we position our members and our clients as trusted industry voices.
Mm-hmm. And so if a person wants to reach out to you, there's all the information right there. You can go right there. You can scan the QR code, you can type it in. And I would say, to me, what do you feel like going into 2026 is one of the most important things that either you provide or that business owners should really be focused on in order for them to not just sustain, but also to be able to hopefully grow their business going into the new year?
Yes, I would say clarity in their why. And then comes the business plan. So I talk about the business plan all the time to my clients and anyone that I can speak to. I'm actually coming out with a podcast where I'm specifically helping entrepreneurs take the scary out of the business plan so that they can actually do it. But getting clarity on your why, because that'll help you set the foundation for your business moving forward. A lot of things that I see clients struggle with is consistency. And sometimes it's simply because they don't have that foundation and understanding why they're doing what they're doing. And that is what I would say.
No, I mean, and that's a real thing, because I think sometimes we just get really bogged down in, I have to do this has to make money, and it can be very stressful. And I try to tell people, I'm like, starting the business is the easy part. It is staying in it and actually making a living. That's the hard part. And figuring out, who the customer is, and that can change year to year. It can change month to month. So just being able to have somebody that can help you do that, I think that that's a powerful thing. And I appreciate that. All right. So is there anything else that you would like to leave the audience with today? Because we're going to get on to our next guest, but I just want to see, is there any last words or any type of encouragement, anything you want to leave people with?
Yeah, I did want to share that next year, February, we are hosting a mastermind where it's an experience where we'll have food, we'll chef curated food, and some panel guest speakers where we're giving away playbooks and strategies to help you with either starting or scaling your business. It's going to be in February. We have opened up our wait list for RSVPs, but if you want to learn more, that is also on our website at nicola-network.com.
Okay, well, that's great. We'll be looking for, do you have a date we can tell them?
Not yet.
Okay, all right. So
February, it's not released yet.
Okay, so February, but we will definitely check out that wait list. And then once you get it, just go ahead and send it, so we can let people know more about it. Because I mean, it is an important thing to always learn. And I think that there are, hopefully, let me just say this. I know what we're going to do. I can't speak for everybody else, but one of the things that we're focused on for next year is really bringing back the in-person learning, because people learn very differently. And I do believe that sometimes you need to be in the room. And I also believe that the way that AI has really just taken over people's lives, it is already getting to the point where people are very tuned out. Let's just use that as a phrase. And we just really need to have that vibration of sometimes being in the room with each other. So, I appreciate when people are doing things that allow other people to, of course, gain more knowledge, but also to physically be in a space, because I think that makes a huge difference.
Huge
So
difference.
yes, it does. So thank you so much. We appreciate you, Nicole.
Thank
And
you.
everybody, if you have any questions, you feel free to type them in. And then you can go over there to her website and check out what she is doing. And I'm going to go with our next guest today. So let me tell you something, guys. One thing that I know is that when you're looking to grow your business, you sometimes do need a coach. And so our coach for Give It, Get It business membership is none other than LaShawn A. Harley. And when I'm telling you everything that Nicole just said, LaShawn, I'm sure could echo as far as the clarity that is necessary. And when I'm telling you from experience, LaShawn will make things clear, and she will also give you too much work to do at the same time. Okay, so clear and work to do. And that is one of the things that I think is, it's a powerful thing to be able to say, listen, you do still have work that you need to put in place. So LaShawn, I'm going to add you to the stage today. How are you?
I'm doing fine. And you?
I am wonderful. I'm wonderful. It's a whole lot of things going on out here in these good, as Latasha would say, entrepreneurial streets. And I just want you to just touch a little bit on the business coaching, because you have done something at first when we first initiated it. It was 2 days that were going to be in person. And that was during Med Week, okay, in October. But now you have extended and expanded the ability for people to be able to get coaching with you. So can you speak on that for me?
Yeah, so in alignment with November and December, a lot of people feel like they've thought they would start something and they're like, it's the end of this year, but we still have time to get things done. And they call me the leader igniter. I'm going to say what other people said, not what I've said. These are their words, that I've given people things in half an hour that some of them, it took 8 hours with other people to get. Or an hour, and it took other people eight hours or 8 sessions to get to. And it's not about me condensing it. It's about the fact of, as Nicole said earlier, it's getting to your why. Once we have the why, as Dr. Miles Monroe would say, you get power in knowing your purpose. And the power is not only on what to do, is what not to do. And that's the biggest thing that holds a lot of people up. And you mentioning the fact about, it's about the planning piece. It's the fact that we just go chasing things. And when you chase something, you got to run faster than it. It's about looking at opportunities and accessing it. And we can get people out of that imposter syndrome, because when you know who you are and what you are about, you can be authentically you and speak you and be unapologetic about it. You're not for everybody. We got that 80-20% rule. 80% of your revenue is going to come for the 20% of the companies. And the thing about it is, yes, the greatest form of flattery is copy, but it's not copy to be like, it's copy to advance. Two different things. I copy what you do, but I apply it based upon what I want to do, which goes back to my why, because my why may be different than your why. So it really helps for that, because just real quick, I was just dealing with an entrepreneur who's like, oh my God, there's this coach out there, $9 million revenue in their industry, things of that nature. And there was a cohort, and we went to her website, and everybody in the cohort said, but that's not your customers who she has. And she was like, but her stuff, she's making, you were like, yeah, but she has people, she wants the people who want their house like better homes and gardens. It's picture perfect 24/7, not that it's lived in. So it's like the kitchen is always picture perfect. That's not how she is, and that's not the people she relates to. Now, we were able to pick off of the page things that she should duplicate, but she shouldn't have been duplicating the whole page. That's why she wasn't keeping customers, because they felt detached, because that place is, I'm a schedule. Y'all just come. I pay. They even do the tips online. That's how impersonal the connection. That's not this person. So what we're trying to do is also bring together me providing that assistance to ignite you. I'm not that person that you got to stay with me for long periods of time. I'm here to help you for what you need, when you need, how long you need it. And just that. It's not about me pushing the button. Latasha calls me the helicopter, because she says I go good from big idea back down into the minutia, back up, and I can do it right in a couple of sentences. You think I'm going one place, but I'm actually somewhere else, which really is great. So let me say this real quick. So somebody may be saying, okay, you're giving even a lot of information now. Oh my God, it's just full of so much. I don't know if I can deal with all of that at one time. Two things. One, if you are an organizer, come prepared that I'm going to give you a whole lot of information that to you is going to seem like information overload, but it's going to take you after our session to sit back, digress it, and say, okay, I see where I fit into that, because I'm giving you a whole lot of information to break open your box and get you out your stereotype. And I mean, stereotype is that we, unfortunately, in the technical service arena, have given you a stereotypical way of doing things, not it fits your way. Mm-hmm. Then there's the other ones of you are that like, oh my gosh, she's speaking like me. I've had one client that I got off a session with her, literally, I had 10 documents from her in a matter of 72 hours because it got her fired up. So I'm giving you the two extremes. You'll probably be somewhere in the middle. My goal is that I'm going to get you fired up, that you can move, that you get a lamp unto your feet, a light into the pathway, so you can know this is where I'm going. The rest of you stuff, it's not there. And we are going to do some in person next month, because I will be in person to be available. And if you got to be on the network, to get it this network to know what days those are that I will be available to do it in person. And I might sneak a couple in this month. I'll let y'all know, but you got to be in the network in order to get those days. Remember, in the network, if you want to be included to get in the information that's going to get you into your success.
You better get them in. I know that's right. So now the thing that I always like is, and this is just me and my personal take. Mm-hmm. I am one of the people who get ignited fast because I probably already had ideas. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I think it was just listening to a different approach. Mm-hmm. And also what I love about working with you is somebody who does know what they're talking about. And I'm not trying to say that other people don't know what they're talking about, but I'm just saying the mm-hmm. level of experience and the background that you bring and the amount of businesses that I know that you've counseled, for me, that was always a factor that made me say, okay, this is a person that you could trust with your business. And I think that when people understand that this is a service that for our members that we have actually discounted from a regular rate, mm-hmm. then you have to look at what your investment is. It is so much easier for you to spend the money, even if it's just one session, for you to get clear on the things that you need to get clear on, but also to have things that you do that you take away, so that then you can keep on moving, right? And so, mm-hmm. you know, I really love the fact that it's like, I think sometimes people are stagnant. Mm-hmm. You thought about it, you had the idea, but it was like, oh, wow, that's another way to do it. Or this is a resource that you've provided now that gives me that momentum. And I'm talking about this from a perspective of a person like me who has ideas on top of ideas on top mm-hmm. of ideas. Okay. Mm-hmm. But one thing about me is that I'm going to execute those ideas. It might not be today, but it might be in 6 months. It might be in a year, but it's like going back to what you talked about. And I think that if people understand, spend the money for the coaching that you need, because people have the word mentor in their head as if people are supposed to just continue to do things for free for them. But your business, my business, we cannot sustain on just free. We mm-hmm. do a lot of things that she likes to call it the give back, that we do for free, but at the same time, there's still money exchanging hands, whether or not you see it, right? Mm-hmm. But this is a situation where if you want somebody to help you with your individual business and you want to move faster, but you also want to move correctly, because you can move fast and wrong.
Right.
You can move fast and wrong, but fast and correctly in order the steps that you need to be able to get where you need to go. This is why this coaching is really important. And so I would say, take advantage of it. Please go ahead and book your coaching session. You do have to pay, but it's totally, completely worth the investment. And I know that now these times are probably a little bit more strenuous for certain people, maybe not for everybody, but I'd rather spend money on something and also know that from a business standpoint, this is a tax write-off. So if you were trying to get your last little write-offs you can get before the end of the year, November and December, this is your last chance to be able to get it this year and get those write-offs going into next year. So consider it for the health of your business and just your mental health of you not having to be stressed about the things that you need to do. So that's the way that I look at it. So LaShawn, if you want to leave people with anything today, what's like a final word or anything you want to leave them with?
Either pay on the front end or pay on the back end.
So hold up. Let me make your face big. Okay, say it one more time.
Pay on the front end or pay on the back end. And I'm just going to use that same cohort. I had 3 people with websites. These were people who were actually in business. These weren't people who were startup in this particular cohort. Mm-hmm. And we were able to tell them what was going wrong with them and the website developer, because they were not understanding their customers. So the pages were beautiful, y'all. Beautiful executed websites. All 3 of them, you could tell professionally done for 2 of them. One of them, that's questionable. But the thing about it is none of them had everything that was addressing their customer base. And I'll leave with this. The web designer said, who had been working months, and I do mean months, and this young lady was paying for it. She didn't get it through a program. He said to her, you didn't tell me you were promoting fun until this one time.
Oh.
So she didn't realize that was the key for her business when we were talking about the why. So she'd been paying him and just wondering why it wasn't adding up, and her customers that she wanted weren't coming because it didn't have fun in it. And as soon as she told him she was about fun, very professional, but she wanted things to be fun. So now guess what? She paid all that time for a website that was perfect, but from an A to B, if you want to give it an A+ for a website, but it was an F- for her customer base. Hence, she lost time. You're going to pay on the front end or you're going to pay on the back end. And to undo what you do has been done actually costs more than to get it done. So I say that for everything, because we get that from bookkeepers setting up QuickBooks, accountants, and everything, and lawyers. What people think they've done right, you're going to pay us more to undo the stuff than it is to do it.
Yeah. And it's just, to me, sometimes it is a waste of time. Just pay the people. You know what I mean? Like, honestly. So thank you for being on today. We appreciate you. And we're going to transition into something that she said, which was fun. Okay. So let me tell you something. At Give It to the People and with our membership, one thing we do love to do is we love to have fun. So in us having fun, let me show you one of our fun things that we do. Let me check you out. All right, gotcha. And since you're a member, you get a button. Okay, so what you're supposed to do is tell them your name and then one thing you want to celebrate.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay.
Tonight I'm celebrating the fact that we have almost
Okay, I totally love that video, and let me tell you why. Because this is, hold on. Let's try to get to the next slide. It's trying to act foolish now. Hold on, guys. There we go. This video, and she turned down the volume. Let me just make sure that I tell you that. But this video was done by our photographer and videographer, Kristen Russell. And she is a member of our Give It, Get It business membership. And the thing that I love about this is she does not like to be in front of the camera. So I told her this time, I said, well, listen, with our video, can you go ahead and do like a POV, a point of view of a person walking in and just, you know, the feel and the vibe that we give? And she was like, oh my God, I would love to do that. So she does the videos. We do have a couple other photographers that we work with, but if you've seen some of our recent stuff, a lot of that is Kristen that does it. They have two beautiful children. Her husband works completely full-time. Kristen works part-time and then does the photography and the videography, and she does branding. And then she also does like furniture design consultation as well. So if you were like getting a house, staging, that type of stuff, she has an amazing eye for color, for vibrancy, for energy, and for really honestly capturing the vibe and who you are as a person to make every person's thing individual and unique for them. So I would say, if you need somebody to do that for you and your brand, consider talking to Kristen and Xavier, and go ahead and book them as soon as you possibly can. And I have already put in some of my 2026 dates, so you guys will not be getting my dates because they get booked out quickly. Like their Christmas minis are already sold out. I just need you to understand that. But one of the things that we do is we do promote the members. So we definitely want to let people know who is actually in the membership, what they're actually doing, and how it can help you and your business. Now, this next person that I'm going to bring on, though, let me tell you something. I think we met because she came to a class, and I'm sure it was probably in Raleigh. And I do remember she came from Raleigh to come to Greensboro to one of the big summits that we were doing back in the day. This is even before Give It to the People was in existence. And she has done so many amazing things. But let me tell you one of the things that she's done. She told me, oh, I don't like to speak in front of people and blah, blah, blah. And I told her, I said, well, let me tell you what you're doing. You're going to need to get used to it because people are going to want to hear what you have to say. And at the time when we first met, what she wanted to do was a concept. It wasn't even all the way together. But since then, she has been able to turn an idea into a reality, not for just herself, but for other people. So I'm bringing on none other than Mel Wright. Mel Wright, how are you today?
Good morning. I am good. I am good. Yeah. How are you?
I am wonderful. So how long has the Wright Village been open?
It'll be 6 years in June next year.
Is that like amazing?
That is amazing. It is amazing. Like not even 5 years is amazing. With going on to 6. Uh-huh. Yeah, I never thought it would get this far.
Okay. All right. So tell people what the Wright Village is if they don't know.
So for those of you who don't know, the Wright Village is a co-incubator space for underserved entrepreneurs. We help business owners, predominantly those that are starting up. That's our sweet spot, to help them kind of navigate through entrepreneurship. So having those resources and collaboration and to help them get through some of the challenges, like Nicola said, like LaShawn said, understanding their why are you in business, all things, providing a lot of technical assistance. Because starting out, we all know when you start out, sometimes you just come with an idea or you have a gift, you have a talent, but that doesn't mean that you should be in business. And so we want to help you navigate that, right? Instead of putting a business together, spending thousands of dollars, spending your savings trying to make ends meet. I did it, so I understand. But if I had someone along the way to help me navigate through that process, I probably wouldn't be in this predicament, and I might not even have the Wright Village, to be honest with you. So I see that as a blessing for me to be able to create this space off of my experience. But we really want to make sure that entrepreneurship is for you. But even though that's our focus, we do help businesses in all stages of their business, whether you're a seasoned business owner just starting, starting over, we got it for you. So
Now there are some new developments, and I'm just going to say new because if you don't know, it started out as co-working. Okay, now she's got a whole nother floor where it's event space. It is a photography studio in there. And then just tell them about some of the things that they can expect when they become villagers over there at the Right Village.
Villagers, absolutely. So yes, as Sheesa said, we did start out as co-working. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first started, I didn't even know I was in the co-working space. All I knew is that I wanted to create first, before I even thought about creating a space when I was in college. Yes, I went back to college at 38. So I was at school and I was like, yeah, I just want to be like this small business liaison. I want to help people. And I stumbled upon the location that I'm sitting in right now, which was 1,500 square feet. And I was like, oh, not only can I help people, but we can help each other. We can work together. Yeah, we got some offices. I didn't even know what co-working was. And then, I did it during COVID, which was a blessing, to be honest with you, because it allowed me to really see what it is that I was doing. Yes, all I knew I was creating community, but not knowing that I was in a co-working space, in a hospitality space. So that allowed me to do that. And then it's like, okay, you have a co-working space, but what makes you different? And not because I'm just Black, like the only Black owned, 100% Black owned co-working space in the Triangle, that didn't make me different, right? Just because I'm a woman, that didn't make me different, right? I had to bring something else extra to the table, right? What was I providing? So I took myself out of the co-working term and said co-incubator space, because I wanted people to know that we're not only just real estate, a place where you grab a desk, grab an office and stuff like that. We actually want to work together. We want to help you through that process. And we want you to be able to share your resources and be each other's referral system. So yes, started that way. And then since then, so for 2 years, we opened up the top floor. We got the top floor, which yes, it has a training / event space. We have a photography studio, a maker space. So people that have a craft, you can do sewing, 3D printing, heat press, whatever it is that you need to do for your business. So I wanted to be able to create opportunity and space for different business owners. Right now we have a business up there that runs a podcast out of his space. So he rents out his space for podcast time. We have a young lady, she's killing it in the game, installing wigs. We have another young lady's killing it, making wired wrap jewelry. Downstairs is our newest addition. We've had it for a year, still creating it, but it's called the Right Note Cafe, where we will be able to, one, host a business that's selling coffee, and two, be able to provide space for entertainers, artists to come in and showcase their work, whether it's open mics, poetry, things like that of that nature. And we do allow people to rent it for like networking events and things like that. So
yeah, so there were a lot of pieces, and now all of those pieces are in one place, because I think that the pulse of the community, and when you say underserved, this is one thing that we are in the midst of. What do I want to, I guess, in the midst of defining, right? So, like I said, I think words are important. So when we say underserved, I have to close my eyes a little bit, because this administration doesn't necessarily want you to say Black, want you to say woman, want you to say LGBT, any of those things. Definitely doesn't want you to say anything of any racial indication. But these typically are the people that we tend to serve, because these are the people that come to us. And so when we say underserved, that's more so to really kind of look at what's happening in the market. But even if you were to just say part of those services, typically, okay, one of those services may attract people of a certain race or gender over another, so being able to have all of that in one place does make a huge difference, and allowing people to be able to to have a space that they can kind of call their own is a good thing too, especially being in Raleigh, because all of the good things are coming to this area. I mean, I'm not trying to say that they're not going anywhere else, but people are literally moving in. And so being able to start a business, especially at this time when, since your focus is startup, that's one place that they need to be, right? In order to be able to learn the things. And you do have a lot of classes and work with a lot of partners. But one thing that you're getting ready to do now, and well, no, you've already started technically, when you talk about sustainability. So I wanted to ask you this question. The cohort that you're doing, it already started, but can people still join? Can you talk about the sustainability cohort that you're doing?
So the cohort started last week. We had our first session, which introduces you to sustainability. I would say yes, you can still join. If they're interested in applying, they can send me the some information at info@therightvillage.com. And just let me know that you're interested in applying. With this, and when we talk about sustainability, some people look at it in two different ways, right? This is more on a people profit planet profit the triple, the bottom, what is it called, the triple P's. So it's not only just making your business sustainable where you are profitable, but it's how do you make your business eco-friendly? How do you get into that space of reusing, reducing? So yes, we still have openings for the program. There is a fee, but we can discuss that more when you send us a request for information. And actually today we have another program starting.
Okay.
It's a business.
I don't think I even knew about this one. What's the new program? What's this one?
This is the Business 101 program, From Idea to Launch. It's a 5-week program. I ran it earlier in January, and I brought it back again through NC Idea. Yes, so this starts today. So literally, I finished one program on Tuesday, started a new one on Wednesday, and I started another one today. So I got my hands full, but it is definitely needed. And I think like going into the new year, just being able to take your idea from your thought, from idea to launch, and then come January, that's when you register your business. And people don't understand, like, you can register your business in December. They still want that annual report.
$200. They sure do. Yes, they do in the state of North
Carolina. So let's figure it out. Let's help you get to where you need to be. And then there's so many programs out here right now that have some funding. So I'm excited to even introduce that to the class this evening. But yeah.
Well, I think that the thing is, and we've talked about things that are either replicated, because I mean, I do think that you do need to have things more than one time. Somebody missed it. Somebody didn't know. Somebody just found out about it. So I don't think that that's a bad thing to replicate stuff, and specifically to do it in other areas, because that's definitely what we do. But I think that sometimes it's like, well, let's see what we can actually do together and bring, a little bit more cohesion to it. So just as a groundbreaking news, the Right Village is our first premium co-working space member. Woo, 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 woo. Tammy is over there minding her business because she was not speaking. So I don't have Tammy. I don't know what her sisters and brothers are. She would normally be here to do all of the things, but we said, well, listen, how can we be more supportive? Not just because it's a woman owned, not because it's Black owned, but I think location does matter. And I also think that there are initiatives that's not our focus. So our focus is existing businesses. Not that we can't do things for startup businesses, because we will do some stuff again for startup businesses next year. But at the same time, if that's not really where we want to focus, that's what you're doing. It doesn't make sense for us to do that if that's what you're doing. Let's just send the people over there to the right village, right? Now, one thing that I do know is that if things are in person, people can't make everything. So there still is a need, like we talked about earlier, for the online aspect of things. But it does make a difference when you can sit in front of somebody and you can talk about your idea, especially if somebody already has experience or they have somebody they can connect you to. Those in the room conversations are a lot different than the I'm just typing in online and I'm just trying to get a little bit of information, or I'm just dropping something. It's not the same thing as, hey sis, come let me talk to you real quick. You know, let me just ask you this, and then you'll be amazed at what happens in the room. So what we wanted to do was we definitely wanted to have our premium members. We definitely wanted to be able to showcase more events. And what I know is we don't have to do all of the things. There are already people doing the thing. So just go ahead and support those people. So that is our surprise, wonderful announcement for today, to let you people know, because there are co-working spaces all over, but sometimes people don't see the vision either. You know, sometimes there are people who are like, you know, we were talking about with Nicole, who are very corporate. They just want you to come in and they just want you to buy that desk, right? Buy that space. And they don't really care if your business is growing. They just care, did you pay that membership fee or whatever it is every month? But really having somebody that is digging into your business and actually sewing into what you're doing, it makes a whole lot of difference. And so that's why we said, you know, this is a great thing. We want the right village to be first. So yes. Okay, so
I love that. Like you would when you just said like how they just want butts in the seat. Like I have people that come here and ask for a private office. I might have a private office available, but if you don't have no customers, I'm not giving you a private office. It makes no sense. I want you to grow into your membership. Mm-hmm. It's not about me getting that money. You know, like honestly, no. It's like I really want you to grow into the memberships. So
mm-hmm. And your monthly, if they do just want to do the co-working, okay,
it's $80 a month.
Come on, $80 a month,
Monday through Friday from 8 to 11. It includes coaching. It's like we have everything here that you need to be successful with your business, if that's where you want to go.
Yeah, there you go, $80 a month. So
I mean, you gotta want it.
And you do. And I mean, the thing is that I am a big proponent of, and especially with this membership, providing resources for people, because sometimes they just don't know that this thing is available, you know, and evaluating what people need to know. So I was just on a meeting where the bankers were talking about, we have this loan and that loan and this program and that program. And I'm honest and transparent with things. I think that it's great that as business support organizations, we do let each other know what's happening, but this is why we do this be in the ecosystem, because just because the business service providers know it does not mean that the actual business owners and entrepreneurs know it. And I think that sometimes people say, okay, well, here's my website. I'm going to go ahead and put this information up. Oh man, nobody applied. Okay, well, did you send an email? Did you post it on social media? Did you actually go to an event and showcase somewhere? Like, there are things where I think people really have to understand it's not just online. You really have to let people know. And even if it is online, you have to repeat it over and over and over again, sometimes for people to get that clarity. Because when people say there aren't resources, there are an abundance of resources. You just didn't know how to tap into them. And so, you know, we're in Durham, which is right up the street from Raleigh, but Raleigh is not Durham. Okay. And if you're in Halifax County or you're in Nash County, you could come to some of these things too, because maybe in certain counties, these things are not happening. Maybe you're in Wilson County and you need to come to the thing that's over here in Wake. Think about traveling and crossing those borders. So that's my message over and over and over to people, because there are resources and there are things that are coming up, which is why I definitely want you to join the membership. Okay, so Mel, if you want to leave them with one final thing for today, what would your final thing be?
Ooh, don't be scared to just jump out there and do. But when you're ready, be ready to accept constructive criticism at the same time.
Oh, that's a good one. That's really a good one. Okay, that could be a whole session. Ooh, I don't even want to get into that because I mean, honestly, but that's why we ask for feedback. I mean, I do because I'm like, look, everything's not perfect. Something could have been better. So tell me honestly what you think, and Mel knows. I'll call her and be like, Mel, boopity boopity boop, but I think that is a strong sign of a leader when they can accept, okay, well, everything wasn't 100, but, and we always try to frame things as to what was good, what could be improved, and now let's keep on moving to the next thing. Like, don't let one thing discourage you from doing something else. So great information today. So I'm going to wrap up. We got about 5 minutes left, guys. Thank you so much for being on today, Mel. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And I was right?
Yeah.
About you having to talk? About you having space, about you having to be out there? Yes. And this was more than 6 years ago when I told her that. She was like, no, I just want to be in the background. Yeah. No, I don't want to talk. I don't want to do such and such.
And I still don't want to talk. I don't want to be it's crazy because I don't want to be the face. And it's like, well, this is your business. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm creating something that's bigger than this face. It's like, so I'm going to figure that out. But you still couldn't get me to talk in front of a bunch of people.
She will. I'm not, listen. So she's saying that I'm not listening. That went in one ear and right out the other. Right. Because I mean, the thing is that the passion that we show for what we do can transcend any application, any whatever proof of concept that you have, any look at me picture or whatever like that. When people understand how passionate you are about things, it does make them buy into it because they are buying you at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So, she's going to speak more, y'all. Okay. All right. Love you so much. All right. And so now this is how we're going to wrap up today, guys, because we put out a survival checklist. And unfortunately, guess what's still happening, everybody? The government shutdown. Now, you may have seen some news recently that there have been 8 Democrats who have gone against the grain and are trying to get the government to open back up. And if it does, then that will release the SNAP benefits that will also allow the government to function all the way into January. Now, let me tell you something. We do want the government to function, all right? We definitely do. We are very sad that there are so many things that are being cut, and it's a terrible factor, but I understand why the shutdown happened. However, just because the shutdown happened doesn't mean that your business shuts down unless you want it to. So we put together a little survival checklist for you to consider things to do with your business. And I pretty much guarantee you that you have not done all of the things that are on this checklist. So go ahead and, take a little picture of this so that this way you can go download the survival checklist. It's totally completely free. And then you can see what are some things that you can do, because this may be a downtime for somebody. This may be a super uptick in business for other people, but there are always things that we can improve in our business. And so we're always trying to do that over here because we know that it is going to open back up. The floodgates will come. There will be money and there will be opportunities, and we need to be ready for those things. So download your survival checklist. And if you go to the website at giveitgetit.biz, it's also on the blog. You can check it there as well. But one of the things that we do, because we focus on 2 things mainly, which is marketing and money. And so with this, we want you to be able to get more for your money. So Workforce in Action, our business luncheon is coming up December 5th. It is going to be amazing because I know that there's not a lot of resources out there in relation to sitting down with you and physically helping you to get into the workforce system. Workforce development has been around for a long time, but a lot of times, unless you physically go to them, or if they're doing an event once or twice a year, then that's when it seems like it's more prevalent. The unemployment rate right now is ridiculous, okay? Ridiculous specifically in response to Black women, but also ridiculous in response to people that, that have been working, that have been looking for jobs, that have been ghosted. I mean, it is really ridiculous. And people are also having problems finding reliable people. But money is always a factor in this. And so if we can help you to increase your capacity by you being able to hire somebody, that is what this is designed to do, to show you how to work the system and don't let the system work you. Get who you need in your business, train those people, have more success, and build capacity. That's what this is about. And I want to throw this in there. If you are a service provider like myself, I hope you've been paying attention to the fact that people need training classes. Doesn't that mean that your business, specifically if you do training and technical assistance, could be a service provider for workforce development? Yes, it does. So that means that if you're on either side of the aisle, that this may be a good thing for you to come to. Also, if you're underemployed, unemployed, however you want to put it, whatever your situation is, this is also a good thing for you to invest in. It does have a cost to it, but if you come in the room, there are going to be people in there that can help you get the things that you need for business. And we have plenty of different training things that are coming up in the 2026, excuse me. The other thing is our focus forum. This is where, and I'm just going to say the word, you see it says ready to get your shit together in 2026. That's what we want you to do. This is not a procrastination. This is taking one day. This is saying, look, we're going to give you some brunch. We're going to give you the training. It'll be some networking, but this is for you to work on your business. So this is more so for our existing businesses. If you said, look, I want to get my stuff together before the end of the year, this marketing, this plan, this strategy, I want to see exactly what I need to do, and I want to have it together that day. That's what this event is for. So that's Focus Forum, and that is coming up December 13th. We'd love for you to register for that. And then finally, and I didn't put the QR code, I forgot about that, but CapacityCon is coming up on January 26th. So when we're talking about not duplicating and things that are for our business service organizations and being able to help more business owners, and business owners, you're welcome to come to this as well. Because if you said, I want to be in the room with the people that plan the events, and I might want to be a part of those things ahead of time, I want to know about stuff before it actually happens, this is the event for you to be at in January called CapacityCon. All right. So at the end of this, we want to bid you adieu, but we want you to definitely make sure that you tune in. We have some new classes that will be coming up in December. We have some more things that'll be coming up this month. So there's always an opportunity for you to learn something, and specifically where you know that you're getting great training that helps you to grow your business, and that's immediately actionable, because that's what we focus on. We don't gatekeep over here. Make sure that you always show up and show out, and that you continue to give it to the people. And we will see you on our next edition, which is going to be December 10th. And the next one is going to be a little bit more focused on our veterans. So we have Department of Commerce coming on for our one in December, and we want to see your face online. So you can go online and you can register for that right now to come to our December 10th Be in the Ecosystem virtual meetup. Make sure you always show up and show out, and continue to give it to the people. Bye, guys.